material things, and to promise them that at every step of the way, it shouldn't matter whether you are in India.
You seem to be content with work as an MP. You wanted to serve your people. You've been given the chance. Are you doing all? Is that all you wanted to do?
No and yes. The no is that I never conceived to be in the forefront of political limelight. And my evidence is this young man seated right by me.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked with him for close to 8 years. Yeah.
As what?
When I was head of finance at International Commercial Bank, he was my staff.
Oh, so the great started from there?
Oh, yeah.
The cash started coming.
I think I am a modest person. I would say rather from Ghana Education Service, because when I was going to even the bank, I was driving my own car.
Ooh.
In a modest way. So for me, it's not about how much you have, you know, but the modest life. And so he is a testimony that we never, when I was the head of finance or senior manager corporate services, we never spoke politics. Of course, when we share national political issues, it was for it, but not that I was interested. So it never was part of my agenda to be. But all through my life, I've always given room to the God factor. Because I know in whatever you do, there is an aspect of your life you don't hold, you don't have total control over. And so every human being, you need to understand your 4 quadrangle, okay? There's one of the 4 that you don't share, you don't have any control. If you drew a square and divided it into 4, and you plot yourself in 1, certainly you will share border with 2. The other, it will only be the angle that you share, so you can't see that place. You don't traverse into that area. So there's always that God factor in my life from beginning to where we have gotten to. So even though I never conceived being in forefront politics, I made room for my passion and what I enjoyed, which is the social democratic credentials of the NDC. So whilst I was in bank remotely, I was supporting in my own small way, you know, for the love of it and for the fun and hobby feeling of it. But I can only thank God and thank certain political leaders who saw something good in me. I wouldn't want to mention names because the list has grown.
Eventually pushed you into it.
Yeah, but I won't shy away from mentioning people like Honorable P.V. Obin.
Oh, okay.
The late P.V. Obin.
Great orator.
Yeah. Anytime I think about him, I feel that something has gone out of me, you know, because he, 1, and then 2, the Honorable Emmanuel Ajianang, the former Council of State member. I can't talk about my political trajectory without mentioning these 2 stalwarts. Besides them, I can mention the Honorable Ofosu Ampofo. Chairman. Yeah, chairman. I recall my first engagement with him was in 2013 when he was at Jimpa, you know, taking a course, and I went to him early morning, and he was so calm. He exposed me to the realities of politics, and I think that I owe him a great deal. Next to him will be Honorable Afutiagbo. He also saw me at an event in Tema here. And as a young banker, I had been made a chairman of a big community program. And so when he came and saw me as a chairman, after the program, he just said, "Young man, for your..." maybe today I've even put on a bit. I was a bit lanky and tiny. And so when he said, "Young man, for you to have gotten chairmanship for this event, there's something in you. I'm proud of you." And so when the time came for him to give recommendation about me, he referred to that event and said, "Look, the community certainly is behind this young man." And so these 4 people would be the foundation. But locally in my party, I owe people like Mustafa Dakun, we call him B. Salam, my former chairman. I owe people like Madam Esther Abe, he's a former women organizer. I owe people like Ibrahim Ajete, who was also, he didn't know me, but when he saw my CV and read about me, he owned me as though we were coming from one.
There's been talk about they are having elections on Saturday.
Yeah, sure.
As you mentioned, the former things. Some of your people have been here and have been giving them chance to sell their messages to the people. And some of them have been saying that the MP seems to be having a long hand in the selection of people into say some people have been disqualified and other things. I was like, okay, one day I'll get a chance to speak to the MP about it.
I'm ready for the
How
question.
is it like? Is there a perception that they think that some people have been disqualified because they are not in your camp? I know these internal politics, everything can happen. Is it that you want people? I don't know. I don't think you have a favorite, but definitely you work with anybody.
Sure. I mean, that's the underlying factor, you know, that I'm able to work with anybody. I'm able to, and I'm willing and very ready to work with anyone who wins these elections. That is not to say that as a leader, you should not protect the organization you lead.
Yeah.
As a leader, when you see something wrong, you must be a leader with finesse, a leader with substance, a leader with that energy to crack the whip.
Yeah.
Okay. And so my assurance to all aspirants, and in fact, my heart goes out not for only Tema East, Tema Central, Tema West. Of course, I've not gotten myself into the Tema Central and Tema West politics, except that I do have friends among them. And some may even want me to make public statements. I said, no, let your metal or your quality speak for you. Okay, but when it comes to Tema East, certainly I have an onerous responsibility to ensure that Tema East, that has become attractive, continues to remain attractive and even shine brighter than we have all met it. And so I wouldn't take it from anybody who thinks that I have favorites, okay? Because I have openly gone to people and appealed to them to give other people a chance. And I wouldn't run away from that as a leader, okay? There are positions that 2-3 people have talked to me, I want to go. Sometimes I just say, okay, and I just stay back. Other times I go beyond that to say, oh, this your brother is contesting this position. I would have wished you gave him the chance. And so once I tell you that, that tells you that my heart goes for, and why I won't hide from that.
Yeah.
There is a wicked tendency, even that being perpetuated by people who should know better, people who are in academia, people who are business men, and they go to spew lies, and in addition to the lie, they add to it that when you ask me, I'll deny. For me, that is the most weird, wicked thing people can do. When you tell a lie, leave it to stay. But when you add that, when you ask me, I'll deny. I will sit in this in this studio, and say whatever my heart believes in. I am doing it for the Tema East constituency. If it goes well, fine. If it doesn't go well, fine.
And we pray it goes well.
Yeah, it will go well because I'm doing it from my heart. It is not to detest anyone. It is not to say that somewhere is not good. I've just said, in cases where people, I've seen 2-3 quality people wanting the same position, I say, oh, you are quality material. This your brother is also very good. Given where I sit, I see a lot of things. Okay, I see a lot of things. I relate to a lot of agencies that would disclose information that I'm barred from publicly disclosing. But as a leader of Tema East constituency, I do not say I'm a leader. My chairman is a leader. That's contestable. I believe otherwise. But I would prefer that the status quo remains. I believe otherwise because in our constitution, when a president is in office, he is the leader of our party. When we elect a presidential candidate, he is a leader of the party. Once he loses, the leadership reverts to the chairman. Okay. And the constitution explicitly replicates that at regional.
Trickles down.
Yes, trickle down too. And so by inference, and not just open inference, but close inference in the constitution, what happens at national would happen at the constituency. So my interpretation, which I don't force, okay, I allow the chairman to be the leader, and I'll play whatever role I have to play. I believe, at the end of the day, it is how we collectively harness the human capital and resources at our disposal to achieve